In this video, we're going to look at some of the basic techniques of vertical mobility. We'll be ascending a rope, descending a rope, changing over from ascent to descent, and from descent to ascent. We'll also look at crossing knots, both during ascent and descent. So I'm all set up as described in the introductory video. I have all the equipment I need and it's appropriately sized for me. As we said last time, my ASAP is the first device I connect to the rope and the last device I disconnect. I'm going to be starting with ascending the rope. So I'll get my ascenders out. Now, being nylon rope, this rope, despite not being very tall, is going to have some stretch in it. So I'm going to start by sliding my ascenders up the rope to take some of the stretch out. Now the bulk of my weight is on my harness. The basic principle of ascending is very straightforward. You can have one foot or both feet in your leg loop or leg loops. I want the rope below my chest ascender to be running downhill to increase the likelihood that the rope will flow smoothly through the chest ascender. As I stand up in my foot loop, hopefully my chest ascender will slide along the rope, but it's not unusual for it to need a little encouragement. Also remembering I've got my arm under my ASAP. Having stood on my leg loop, my chest ascender slid up the rope and I've sat down onto my chest ascender. My hand ascender is now slack, I can slide it up. A lot of people, when they first begin practicing vertical mobility, get very tired very quickly, and it really does all come down to technique. One of the best things you can do to increase your efficiency ascending is to keep your foot under your center of gravity, essentially under your bum. In doing this, you're able to push yourself directly upwards, rather than pushing yourself outwards and having to use your upper body strength to pull yourself up. So I've ascended a couple of steps, now I'm going to change to descent. In preparation for changing from ascent to descent, I want to make sure that my two ascenders are really close together. Not so close that one's going to become jammed in the other and unable to remove from the rope, but close enough that I'm not wasting any space. I'll take my ID, attach it to my harness. Don't need the leg loop right now, so I'll drop that. Attach my ID. Now this is one of those times that we're not able to get a buddy check to verify that we've reeved our rope through our ID correctly. The onus is on us to have done this right. I've reeved my ID, and again, I want as little wasted space as possible, so I'm going to pull that up quite close to my ascender before locking it off. Now I'm going to stand in my leg loop, and as I stand up, I'm going to have my finger on the thumb catch of my chest ascender, so that as soon as I unweight the chest ascender, I can remove it from the rope and sit down on my hand ascender. Now I'm ready to go. Changing from descent to ascent is the same situation, but in reverse. Being in reverse makes it a little easier. So my descender's locked off, meaning I can go hands-free, hand descender on. I'm going to stand in my leg loop. Once I've stood up, I want to, as quickly as practical, attach my chest ascender to the rope. So I'm going to open the cam on my chest ascender now. One less thing that I'll have to do while I'm balancing on one foot. Take the rope out of my ID. And I'm on my way up. Now, a common mistake people make when they're first learning this process stems from not having their two ascenders near enough together. I'm going to have mine a fair distance apart and see if I can replicate this problem. So I'm in the process of changing over from Ascent to Descent, and I want it to go slightly wrong. I've just removed my chest ascender, sat down on my descender, and now both the rope above my ID and the tether from my harness to the hand ascender are loaded. Because this tether is loaded, I'm not going to be able to remove the hand ascender. When a lot of people first encounter this situation, the first thing they do is put their feet back in their leg loops, stand back up, put their chest ascender back on, and try again. And that's safe and it works. It's also pretty inefficient though, and there's an easier way we can go about it. So just double checking my ID is locked. I'm going to wrap, rather than the leg loop, the rope below me around my foot a few times. I'm going to stand my other foot on top of that. And now I'm going to stand up in the red rope in order to get enough height to be able to release the hand ascender. Easier to slide it down the rope rather than remove it completely. So now the rope comes off my foot. I can remove my hand ascender and I'm back on my way down.